Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. The hotel room was dimly lit, the air thick with the scent of betrayal and lost hope. Shadows danced across the walls as Marcus paced nervously, each footstep echoing the heartbeat of a man straddling the line between revenge and despair. He could still hear her laughter, that intoxicating sound that had first drawn him to her. But now, that laughter felt like a noose tightening around his neck, and the wall he had built around his heart crumbled with each haunting memory. The trip to Southeast Asia wasn't meant to end like this, a mere pawn in a game where she was the queen, effortlessly maneuvering him into a trap he had never seen coming. Marcus had always been the one to protect those he loved, to place their needs above his own. His friends at the base called him naive, an idealistic soldier blinded by the glitter of foreign allure. "Watch your back, brother," they'd say, warning him of the vices prowling the streets of Manila. Women like these are as dangerous as a sniper's bullet. But what did they know? He was sure that his love for Aisha, a vibrant Filipina he had met during his last deployment, transcended those warnings. Or at least, he had hoped. Flashes of their first meeting flickered through his mind. She had glided into the bar like a breath of fresh air, a beam of light piercing through the gloom of his loneliness. Her eyes sparkled as she approached, leaning close enough for him to notice the sweet fragrance of her hair. "You look like you need someone to share a drink with," she whispered, and his heart raced. He felt alive, wanted, perhaps for the first time in a long while. Ignoring the gut instinct urging him to turn away, he found himself swept into a whirlwind romance, one that would eventually leave him battered and broken. Weeks blurred into months, each moment spent in her embrace, feeling like a treasure. Aisha had introduced him to her world, the exhilarating chaos of Manila life. Her laughter shared over glorious sunsets, late-night conversations under the stars exchanging dreams of a future together. Yet beneath the surface of their seemingly perfect relationship, dark currents lurked, hidden from Marcus's trusting gaze. Each time he suggested building a life together, Aisha would smile sweetly, her lips promising fidelity, while her heart plotted a different course altogether. As he dove deeper, he couldn't shake the unsettling whispers of his friends' warnings. There were whispers of local customs, the clutches of the Filipino mentality, a complex web of family ties and expectations. The stories echoed in his mind as he ideally painted a life with Aisha, a house, children, a shared future. Yet flight after flight, filled with anxious tension, warned him of the danger lying ahead. They spoke of the women known as juicy girls in South Korea, of scams lurking in the shadows, ready to crush unsuspecting hearts like his. Just as he felt secure in their bond, overexposed texts began to surface. Aisha's best friend, Tessa, sent him screenshots that wrenched Marcus's stomach, flirty messages from Aisha to unknown men, nothing but banal exchange at first. But with them came not only faces of men, but the urgency of betrayal he never imagined could extend to his romantic ideal. Who's Michael? That name, a knife planted in his heart, kept replaying until he nearly collapsed. A dim glow from the screen illuminated his face as he squinted, breath hitting at the sight. Aisha's words dripped off the screen, more intimate than any lover's whisper. "I miss feeling your touch, babe. Can't wait for you to hold me again." The sickening truth slithered in with every word, the soft fabric of his dreams unraveling into the void. The betrayal cut deep, yet betrayal doesn't just trigger anger, it sparks a fury so raw that it burns like nothing else. With a heavy heart and an aching soul, Marcus resolved to confront her. The next evening, he returned, his stomach a turbulent sea of rage and heartbreak, ready to confront the illusion of safety he had built around his love. The quaint cafe where they had shared their first kiss suddenly felt foreign, the walls cloaked in shadows as Marcus approached. When he saw her seated at a corner table with Tessa, the one person he thought he could trust, the anguish in his chest turned to raw fury. "Marcus." Aisha smiled, a warm, welcoming expression that almost enticed him to forget the damning evidence in his hand. Tessa eyed him nervously as he slid into the chair. "You're right on time. We were just talking about our plans for this weekend." "You're right on time. We were just talking about our plans for this weekend. Plans? He echoed, his voice cold and devoid of warmth. Have you told her about Michael? Time slowed as doubt and disbelief flashed across Aisha's face like a dark cloud overtaking the sun. Her expression turned from surprise to something less innocent, as if she knew this moment would come. What are you talking about, babe? Marcus, his voice determined, slid the phone across the table, laying out the evidence. The truth, a cold, hard betrayal. Tessa's eyes widened, her mouth gaping like a fish out of water. Tell him! Aisha! Tell him! Aisha! Tell him! Tessa shot as she frantically glanced from Aisha to Marcus. Withers was caught between two worlds, the truth emerging from the depths or the desire to shield his broken heart. Aisha sighed, her beauty now tinged with a heavy darkness. It's not what you think, Marcus. There's nothing serious. I can explain. Fingers clenched into fists on the table, he fought for breath. So it's just a bit of fun. How many others do you have, Aisha? Tell me. I want to know how deep this goes. The tension gripped the air as she glanced at Tessa for support, but the betrayal hung poised on the edge of revelation. After a heartbeat of silence, Tessa spoke, her voice a hushed confession filled with dread. There's more to the story, Marcus. She lied. There is a past you don't know about. Marcus's heart raced, emotions churning like a storm preparing to unleash its fury. A past? What do you mean? Aisha's expression wavered. I left things unsaid, but I never stopped being with Michael. He was there before you. You were my distraction, my escape. Silence enveloped them, suffocating the air as Marcus leaned back, the revelation crashing over him. My distraction? My distraction? After everything we've built, you want me to believe that? The reality cascaded down like an avalanche. Each confession dug deeper into his heart. He stood abruptly, chair screeching against the floor. This is all I get? A half-hearted apology wrapped in lies. You used me, Aisha. You played me. With that proclamation, the foundations of their relationship cracked and crumbled, leaving nothing but aching desolation, masked in a grim facade. As the duo of betrayed lovers now faced the unsettling truth, Marcus's heart hardened. There would be no more tears, only a chilling resolve brewing inside him. Revenge was not yet in sight, but the seeds had been sown, and they would take root in the aftermath of this heartbreak. Love had become a weapon wielded against him, and he would turn that weapon back around. Outside the cafe, the world continued to move. The sun sank deeper, casting dark shadows that blended with the whirlwind of anguish surging through him. Revenge would come, like thunder in a storm. He just had to prepare for the tempest ahead, filling the chasm created by Aisha's betrayal with a fierce need to expose the reality of who she truly was. The quiet rage brewed deep within him, a promise that one day justice would have its reckoning. Time would unveil the heart of the duplicitous love that had ensnared him, but that day was still ahead. The fury in his gut whispered an echo of bittersweet retribution that was yet to come. The air crackled with tension as Marcus stepped out of the cafe into the shimmering Manila night. Street vendors shouted their wares while the sounds of laughter and music faded as his heart raced with the intensity of betrayal. Aisha had shattered something sacred, the illusion of their perfect love destroyed forever. He clenched his fists, his mind swirling with thoughts of revenge, sweet, brutal revenge that would make Aisha feel every shred of pain he had endured. Her stinging words resonated in his mind. I never stopped being with Michael. You were my distraction. The thought ignited a fire within him, propelling him toward determination as the full weight of her betrayal landed on him like a crushing wave. For the first time in weeks, clarity cut through the fog. This was no longer just about confronting her. It was about exposing her lies and dismantling her empire of deceit. As he walked through the vibrant streets, each face he passed felt like a stark reminder of his naivety, their laughter mocking his folly. He could almost hear Aisha's laughter ringing in his ears, each note a sharp reminder of her sweet, poisonous nature. His phone buzzed insistently in his pocket. It was Tessa. He hesitated, but then answered, ready to extract whatever information she could provide. Marcus, listen. Please, let's talk. Tessa's voice came through trembling, urgency lacing her words. What more do you have to say that you haven't already said? You could have told me the truth. You were just as complicit in this, he spat, fury erupting anew. I didn't know the extent of her betrayal. I thought Thought what? That she'd stopped cheating on me once I was back? You both played me for a fool, Tessa. He struggled to keep his voice steady as he recalled the pain etched into every line of Aisha's face tonight, mingling betrayal and the frustration of being used. No, please, let me help you. There's something I need to show you. Meet me at the old bar we used to go to. It's important, trust me. Marcus hesitated, but the need to put together the pieces of Aisha's tangled web outweighed his anger. Fine, I'll be there, he replied, the threat of something darker simmering beneath his surface. The old bar was a distance from where the confrontation had taken place. As he walked, he made a mental inventory of his next moves, the lies he would expose, and the way he would dismantle Aisha's facade piece by piece. He would not let this end in mere words. Justice would be loud and undeniable. When he arrived, Tessa was already seated at a table near the back, her fingers nervously tracing the rim of a glass. She looked up, fear and remorse flashing in her eyes. Marcus took a seat across from her, setting his jaw grimly. What did you want to show me? He asked, his voice low. Tessa swallowed hard, her fear palpable. I've been collecting some evidence, things that I thought were just rumors. Aisha is involved with more than just Michael. She has been using this whole act to get money from you and other men. It's worse than you think. Worse how? She pulled out her phone, scrolling quickly before tapping a message. Here, this is a conversation between her and another guy. Tessa slid the phone across the table, her breath hitching as Marcus's heart raced with anticipation. There are details here, Marcus. She has plans to get out of this country and knows how to play men to her advantage. This isn't just cheating, she's scamming for a future. The words hit Marcus hard, the familiarity echoed just enough to trigger the memories of men back at the base, discussions spanning from whispers of deceit to tales of heartbreak. How do you know this isn't just some random guy? His voice was cold, the screen lighting up his hardened expression. She's been doing this with multiple men. It's a scam. She even went back to the guy who helped her financially to get to the States initially. Tessa's voice was urgent. This isn't just revenge. This is about saving the next guy she targets. With a sickening sense of determination, Marcus leaned back, the pieces coming together in an ugly jigsaw of betrayal. He absorbed it all, allowing the wretchedness of reality to sear into his heart. What do you want me to do with this information? We can expose her, post this where the guy is looking for love in all the wrong places. We'll see. We need proof, Marcus. Not just anger. We need a plan. Marcus considered her words, the plan crystallizing before him. Using his extensive resources and the connections he'd made during his time in Manila, he would gather information about Aisha's targets. He would create a dossier of evidence that unveiled her schemes. Marcus's wrath turned into cold, calculated ambition. He envisioned the very moment Aisha would be publicly exposed, her world unraveling in front of the very people she had deceived. The stakes were higher now. Days turned into weeks as Marcus meticulously pieced together Aisha's web of lies. Each new contact led him further into the intricate network of deception. He learned about Aisha's duplicates, her aliases, used to lure unsuspecting men into her trap. Names such as Vanessa and Jasmine emerged from the shadows as Marcus gathered intel on her methods. Each meeting with Tessa revealed what new information they had. She's scheduled to see another guy this weekend, Tessa gasped one night. A Western guy who's already sent her money. Marcus felt a swell of satisfaction. Good, let's use this. Together, they devised the plan. Marcus would confront Aisha while filming her dirty little secret in real time. They utilized burner phones and fake accounts, masking their true identities, enabling them to get close without revealing who they were. The evening of the encounter arrived, the air thick with anticipation. Marcus had positioned himself at the chosen cafe, a place where Aisha often entertained her targets. He felt the adrenaline thrum through his veins as he peered into the bustling environment, his heart racing with vengeance. Aisha had no idea that the man she sought to deceive today would turn out to be her downfall. When the targeted man showed up, Marcus suppressed a grim smile. He fit the mold of the type Aisha coveted, a starry-eyed foreigner, ready to be swept away by the charms of a beautiful Filipina. Though when he caught the glimmer of manipulation behind her eyes, Something clicked inside Marcus. She was just playing another hand in her sinister game. Helplessness transformed into righteous anger that pushed him to act. As the pair settled into their flirtation, Marcus revealed himself, stepping forward with cameras rolling. Well, Aisha. Another charade, I see. He spoke, an edge sharpening his voice as he commanded their attention. Shock ricocheted across Aisha's face before it twisted into anger. Marcus, what are you doing here? You thought I wouldn't find out about your little exploits, huh? He sneered, the camera capturing each passing moment. The target looked confused, his eyes darting back and forth between the two, unaware of the storm brewing around him. What's happening? Marcus's voice sliced through the confusion. You're about to get played just like I was. Aisha here has a long history of scamming men like you. Look at her. With a flick, he showed the images of her texting Michael, interspersed with the messages throughout their relationship, capturing all the deceit he'd gathered. He felt an overwhelming sense of power as people's heads began to turn, the whispers propagating through the cafe faster than he could imagine. Aisha's face paled as the reality of her lies flickered across her features. He's lying! None of this is true, she spat, gathering her composure. Yet it was already crumbling before her. What's the matter, Aisha? Can't handle the truth. You're going to have to do a lot better than that if you want to escape this mess. He stepped closer, capturing her vulnerability and confusion as she realized the web of deception was unraveling before her eyes. Everyone this woman has been conning, stealing, and betraying like it's a game. Let me show you all how she pretends to care while plotting behind your backs. He played the footage of her charming the target until her laughter turned into panicked pleas. You won't get away with this, Marcus. You don't know who I am. Her voice quaked, desperate and defensive as the hushed voices around them turned into mutters. So many eyes glued onto her. Opinions swirling fast. Oh, we all know who you are now, Aisha. We're all about to find out, and let me assure you, this is just the beginning. Glimmers of realization flashed across the gathering crowd, the laughter, the teasing banter they shared now painted in only shades of betrayal. Eyes widened with shock. Whispers of disbelief merged into a cacophony that only fueled Marcus's resolve. The defeated facade she wore began to crack, revealing the true essence of the woman he had once loved. Manipulative, deceitful, and malicious. At that moment, Aisha's world collapsed. Each deceitful facade she had constructed shattered at his feet, revealing the wreckage left behind. She was no longer the coy seductress. She was vulnerable, cornered, and completely exposed. Realizing her jig was up, the facade of confidence crumbled like a house made of cards. As the whispers turned into outright scoffing, Marcus felt a cruel satisfaction unfurling inside him. There was no turning back. Aisha would face the consequences of her choices, reveled in the brutality of karma delivered with a fierce hand. With a final glance into her widening eyes, Marcus leaned in closer, his voice lowering to a cold, chilling whisper that would seal her fate. You may have seduced me then, Aisha, but today, it's you who's getting your just desserts. I guess you'll always be known as the girl who couldn't keep her lies straight, more a thief than a lover. The pounding of his heart echoed in his ears, each word, a dagger twisted deeper into her heart. The crowd gasped, a chilling silence mingling with the murmurs of disbelief. She stood there, severed from every safety net she'd thought she had, robbed of her charm and illusion. As the camera captured each defeated expression on Aisha's face, Marcus finally felt the release he had longed for, the satisfaction of tormenting the tormentor. He had turned the tables, the cruel flip of fate locking in the punishment she deserved. Her laughter, once sweet, was now tainted with the bitter taste of undeniable shame. In that moment, Marcus turned his back on her unraveling vanity. Stepping back into the bustling streets of Manila, where the weight of triumph sat firmly upon his shoulders, the sunset bathed the city in an ethereal glow, one fit for a lover reborn from the ashes of betrayal. As Marcus walked away, he felt untethered, powerful, and victorious. The hum of the city faded into the background, each footstep marking a point of no return. A brilliant sunrise awaited him, one more promising than the false light of Aisha's warmth. The last thing that flickered in his mind was that glorious phrase of revenge echoing back in his heart. You thought you could treat love like a game. Aisha. Now you'll learn what happens when you play with fire. You get burned. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like.